but certainly in going out to those national and regional tenants, we do have to have something that's a bit more marketable than our current downtown.
All right, then I've got to ask you the question: what sort of changes do you envision? I can't, and this is my fault. You said, okay, we need a better flow through from the wharf, and I agree. I mean, things kind of seem to stop there, as if there were a wall that goes between the parking lot and the wharf sometimes. It's amazing. But for instance, can we talk about specifics here? What kind of things would you be doing, or do you know at this point? I mean, are there any specific ideas about what to do, or we got to hire these people first?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
We have some ideas of what we believe would be some good ideas.
Okay.
Fortunately, it's not up to me. It's up to the citizens of Monterey. It's up to our community at large, and certainly our leadership.
Okay.
I'm one voice. I've certainly sat in on some meetings where we've seen some great ideas, but certainly my opinions are just that, my opinions. I believe that there are some really strong ideas out there. So speaking personally, and certainly on behalf of McPo, I believe most of them would agree that joining the wharf, the walk path through Custom House Plaza to the downtown is critical. We've talked about the path of history,
Right.
And if you've ever taken that walk in a spare week, which is about what it takes you to take that, it's a long walk and we have a lot of history. We recognize that,
Yes.
but perhaps breaking that up into more workable segments. Families with kids could potentially accomplish some segmented portions of that walk and breaking it up.
That would make sense.
Yeah, improvement of the plazas. Portola Plaza is kind of like the storefront for the Portola, and obviously, I don't think it's accomplishing what it was designed to accomplish, and that's because of some of the street, the striping and the traffic patterns through there.
Right.
It's just not pedestrian friendly. It's almost, you get to the downtown, to the end of that downtown, you got this hotel in front of you. Okay, well, I'm at the end,
Yeah,
and there's nothing there. Inviting you to continue through. So
right.
So
good point.
Yeah, and the transit plaza at the other end seems to be an incredibly underutilized space. Of course, we need we need the transit center to exist.
Yes.
Certainly, people need to get in and out of the city, but is that the best location? Certainly, we see that there's other opportunities.
Good point. So maybe using what is now the Transit Plaza as a more inviting and affiliated space with the downtown area to create that flow. Okay.
Undoubtedly.
Those are nice ideas.
Yeah,
What else?
we've seen some others that are very strong ideas. One of the big complaints about, again, from the downtown vendors is if you're traveling along Del Monte and you're heading through the tunnel, that's just the way you're supposed to go. It's the traffic flow. There's, it's almost an inconvenience to move over to that left lane to get to the downtown.
Right.
And then once you get to the downtown,
faced with what do I got
one ways,
now?
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, hey, that looks really interesting.
Yeah.
So you kind of passed it before you realize where you're going. And that all works together with the traffic and circulation study. But one of the ideas that have come through that is an improvement of that Washington Del Monte Street intersection, so that the downtown is promoted a little bit more. There's better access. The two-way streets, I think, would be an important component with respect to that area.
Absolutely.
And then also, the current configuration of that intersection really isolates Spanish Plaza. And I say that to a lot of people. People go, Spanish what? What's Spanish Plaza? Where is it?
Please tell us.
I said the same thing until I realized where it was, and essentially it's right across from the parking garage. There is a little triangular plaza that exists right across from the east garage, and it's I've seen it. It's like, wow, that exists. It's interesting, but it is never occupied. It has absolutely no real utilization, and to a person, anybody that I've ever talked to about that particular area, would indicate, God, we need to do something to improve. So in an adjustment to that intersection would actually open up another, what we call opportunity sites.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we plan to have you back because we just barely touched on the issues here. Well, Mike and I discussed 5 questions before, and we got through 2 of them. I have heard for years that there's a big problem with the conference center. It's too small, and I know for a fact how dramatically the reservations there and the occupancy of the conference center have fallen from 200 events a year down to, I don't know what the latest number is, but conference center, what are you looking at as far as that goes?
That conference center is an invaluable resource to our community.
Yes.
Again, we said this earlier. Tourism is our hub. It's the industry of Monterey.
Yep.
The communities here thrive upon it in more ways than one. Obviously, the hotels depend upon that conference center. They depend upon people, visitors coming in. And when the conference center was designed, it was designed kind of as I don't want to use the word loss leader, but certainly it was designed not to be a profit center. It was designed to bring business into the Monterey area. It was specifically used as a marketing venue, and people would come. They'd have a conference here in Monterey. They'd see the beauty. Oh my God! Look at what the history, the beauty, everything is here in Monterey. Let's bring our family back.
Right.
Over the summer, etc. And the conference industry, and I'm not an expert, I will say, and I've sat in on some meetings, and I know just enough to be dangerous. So if I'm misstating anything, I apologize. But the conference industry as a whole seems to have changed.
Sure.
As is certainly the economy's dipped. Meeting planners, people that are looking out there for opportunities, the businesses that hire the meeting planners to look for those types of opportunities have gone through a dramatic change. The marketplaces that are out there that with whom we compete directly have seized hold of the opportunities to kind of get ahead of this downtick, if you will, and a lot of them have taken steps to improve in their own conference centers, in their own downtown. Sure. And unfortunately, I don't think that Monterey, certainly not our conference center anyway, have taken advantage of that to the best of our ability, and it remains a real important component to our community. The conference center is dated. It again, at the time it was developed, it was ideal, and I think it's been utilized throughout the years tremendously. I think we've done a really good job of using that opportunity to bring people into our community.
Well, how are they going to change it, Mike?
The change would be more breakaway sessions. Nowadays you go to meetings abroad and you see that you have kind of a general session area, and then you have these little breakaway sessions. Unfortunately, the conference center doesn't allow us to do that. We have a size. We have limitations in terms of number of people that can come in. So it limits the people to whom we can go out and market our services. And once you fill out the conference center, where do you feed them? So you've got those types of issues, and so there's absolutely no doubt that the conference center needs some attention. And I'm going to say, to the community at large, I'm going to appeal to the community at large that we should get behind this as an initiative to support whatever it takes to improve upon the conference center.
So we're gonna ask him if he'll come back and talk a little bit more about McPull and about downtown Monterey and how we can make it a better, more vibrant, more vital community, maintaining the history and maintaining the luster at the same time. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.